All right, so we're simplifying this problem here. So what can we do? Well, what can I do to these two things? The two I just circled. I can multiply them, right? That's just Euler distributing. So let's do that. So what is secant times secant? Good. And then secant times negative 1? Good. And then 1 times secant? They will. And then 1 times negative 1. Okay, all over. And on bottom, I just have a sine squared. So I'm not going to do anything with it. If I need to change it later, I will. But remember, we're trying to simplify, so we want to make this smaller. All right, I've got like terms here. What is negative secant plus secant? Yeah, it cancels. So we're left with on top secant squared of x minus 1 over sine squared of x. Trig function squared and a 1. What did I tell y'all on Friday to look for? Yes, Pythagorean identities, right? So which Pythagorean identity has a secant squared in it?
Second.
Which, read it to me.
1 plus tan squared x equals secant squared.
All right. But I need secant squared and 1 to be on the same side, and I want secant squared to be positive. Well, it's positive where it's at, so let's just move the 1 over to it. And so we get tangent squared equals secant squared minus 1. Now double check it. Is this the exact same thing that we have on top there?
Yes.
Yeah, so we know that secant squared minus 1 is equal to what? Tangent squared. So I have tangent squared over sine squared. Well, I'm not done yet. What else can I do? Well, what do we know about tangent squared?
Tangent squared is like water. Sin over cos.
It's sine squared over cosine squared. And then we still have over the sine squared. What do we do when we have fractions and fractions? Yeah, because it's one fraction on top, and we're going to make this a fraction on bottom. So keep it, change it, flip it. So we have sine squared over cosine squared. So we kept the top. Change it to multiply and flip it. I had sine squared over 1, so it's going to become 1 over sine squared. So now what can we do? Good. Sine squared on top and bottom cancel. And so what are we left with? 1 over cosine squared. Bless you. And what is 1 over cosine squared? Secant squared. And can't get any smaller than just one term, so we've simplified.